Alrighty, guys. 89 Upper Deck. This is an 189 Upper Deck low series. So, Griffey, Smoltz, Biggio, possible Dale Murphy reverse negative. Big card there. Alright, let's get cracking. See what it looks like. This box was purchased from Steel City, so I feel confident about its viability. We're doing this, each person switches teams after each quarter box. So this is the upper left portion. Upper left. So we'll keep these stacks separated. Actually, I'm going to make myself some post-it notes here. So, upper left, upper right, lower left, and lower right. We're doing it quarter box at a time, so. All right, so this is upper left. Good luck, everyone. Should be nostalgic. I remember ripping this stuff as a kid. I was 14 when this came out. 13, 14. Rick Rhoden. Sean Hilligus. Barry Jones. Bill Wegman. Alex Trevino. Lloyd McClendon. Ed Romero. We'll send these out to the teams too. Mets and Indians on those. Rob Murphy, Gary Thurman, Israel Sanchez, Bruce Sutter, Jose Guzman, Juan Berenguer, Harold Baines, Casey Candel. That would have been a terrible pack by 1989 standards, even. Cards look good, though. Real nice shape. Alrighty. John Dobson. Bob Brenly. Joel Youngblood. Lloyd McClendon. Jeffrey Leonard. Dave Schmidt. Jeff Musselman. Braves and Astros. Mike Henneman. Timmy Jones. Joel Skinner, Denny Walling, Oil Can Boyd, Rick Mailer, Pat Tabler, Tony Armas, Frank DePino. Ugh, that one was even worse. Yeah, packs are fun. Casey Candel, Otis Nixon, who always looked like he was about 140 years old, Floyd Yeomans, Dave Schmidt, Tom Hinkie, Darren Dalton, Ed Hearn. Yankees on that one. Twins. Walt Weiss, Dave Winfield, Jeff Robinson, Ruben Sierra, John Shelby, Terry Clark, Kent Herbeck, Tim Laudner. Okay. It's only up from here, right? All right. Dave Righetti, Johnny Ray, Jeff Russell, Darren Dalton, Ozzie Smith, Frank Williams, Rance Mullenix, Rangers, Mariners, Rob Dibble, Frank White, Danny Tartable, Mike Lavalier, Jim Deshaies, Rafael Palmeiro, Darren Jackson, Jamie Moyer. Joe Hesketh, Gino Petralli, Daryl Miller, Frank Williams, Dave Bergman, Don Ossie, Jim Eisenreich, Yankees and Brewers, Kirby Puckett, Dave Collins, Tony Pena, Steve Bichelle, Bobby Meacham, Paul Zavella, George Brett, Fred Tolliver. Just a couple Hall of Famers in that pack. Marginally better. I don't think we've hit a star rookie yet. Frank DiPino, Stu Clyburn, Jeff Kunkel, Don Ossie, Tony Phillips, Lou Whitaker, Sil Campusano, Dodgers and Rangers. Dennis Martinez, Jack Morris, Jim Sundberg, Gary Redus, Bryn Smith, Willie Randolph, Rafael Santana, Mitch Webster. Jim Eisenreich, Bud Black, Bill Wegman, Jerry Royster, that's my friend Greg Swindell, Ellis Burks, Mike Schooler, Angels and Cubs, Tommy Glavine, Paul Kilgus, Chad Kruger, Jerry Brown, Tim Raines, Frank DiPino, Jay Buhner, Bill Long, Andy Hawkins. This is rough so far. Got a long way to go, though. Sil Campusano. There's Ripken. Lloyd McClendon. Ellis Burks. Juan Augusto. Ed Olwine. Randy St. Clair. Milwaukee Brewers and the Pirates. Keith Moreland. Greg Swindell's booth partner now. Longhorn Network. Juan Samuel. R.J. Reynolds. Joey Meyer. Tim Laudner. Bo Jackson. Kurt Manwaring, Daryl Boston. Still no star rookies. At all. None. Mike Krukow. John Farrell, Dave Schmidt. Ed Olwine, Mike Felder. Dave Rucker, Gerald Clark. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's stuck to the back. Cubs. Braves. Todd Stottlemyre, Mike Campbell, Scott Bankhead, Larry Anderson, Jamie Moyer, Angel Salazar, Mark Gubiza, Ernie Riles. Well, guys, that was the first quarter. It was not pretty. Those were the star cards. All right. Upper right is this one. Oh, hang on. Upper left goes in that stack. All right, upper right. Can't get a whole lot worse than that, to be honest. Rick Russell, Ruben Sierra, Jeff Ballard, Rick Cerrone, Andy McGaffigan, Todd Benzinger, Don Slott, Blue Jays and Mariners. Colorado, Washington, Jeff Stone, Alex Trevino, Pat Sheridan. There's our first star rookie, Ron Jones. It's also our first checklist. Jose Canseco, Dave Schmidt, Glenn Davis. Rocket, Mike Lavalier, Jeff Reardon, Storm Davis, Tommy Glavine, Dave Stewart, Steve Lombardozzi, Brewers and Padres, Tom Prince, Carmen Castillo, Jeff Leonard, Mike Heath, there's another one, Luis De Los Santos, Fred McGriff checklist, Darren Dalton, Tom Foley. Dave Concepcion, Steve Buechele, Doug Drabeck, Marvell Wynn, Keith Moreland, Julio Franco, Chris Sabo, Tigers and Padres, Chad Kruger, Tom Niedenfuer, Tom Hinkie, Jay Tibbs, there's Chef. That's the Dale Murphy checklist. Frank Williams and Dave Martinez. Okay. Finally, a card worth caring about. All right, going to the Brewers. That one looks pretty good. This box, the centering looks pretty good. Upper Deck 89 had some centering issues. This one is maybe just a hair off, but it's solid for sure. Al Newman, Gary Redus, Edwin Correa, my guy Will Clark, Todd Stottlemyre, Ron Robinson, Jose Uribe, Padres on that one, Rangers, Ken Oberkfell, Jay Bell, Ozzie Smith, Fernando, Mike Harkey, Paul Molitor checklist, Don Ossie, and Bill Wegman. Brooke Jacoby, Scott Fletcher, Keith Atherton, Luis Aguayo, Dave Leeper, Wally Backman, Shane Mack, Astros and Expos, Jerry Brown, Rick Shue, Dave Bergman, Lee Mazzilli, Lance Blankenship, Ozzie Smith checklist, Goose Gossage, Lloyd McClendon. Mookie, Dale Swaim, Dave LaPointe, Willie Upshaw, Cecil Fielder, Randy Velarde, Ron Karkovice, Reds, Yankees, R.J. Reynolds, Jeff Pico, Tony Phillips, Frank Viola, William Brennan, Ryan Sandberg, Lou Whitaker, Dave Schmidt. There's Mattingly. Bob Nepper, Louis Meadows, Randy Bush, Carmelo Martinez, Joe Carter, Todd Benzinger, Red Sox and Mets, Scott Bankhead, Mark Parent, Mark Davis, Jose Canseco All-Star. There's a Smoltzy. Kirk Gibson, Ed Whitson, Darren Dalton. Smoltz looks good. I'm no grader, but I mean, it's maybe 60-40 centered, maybe. Pretty solid, though. Oh. That one looks good. Griffey. There's one. That one looks pretty solid, y'all. Okay. Luis Rivera, Tim Raines, Ron Darling, Dwight Evans, Bob Welch, Dave Stewart, Tigers and Padres, Milt Thompson, Eric King, Kevin Elster, Walt Weiss, Ramon Martinez. That was a hot card for a while back then. Andres Galarraga checklist, Jim Whalewander, Goose Gossage. Chris Brown, Olcan Boyd, Brian Harvey, Jerry Royce, Mark Portugal, Ron Karkovice, Kelvin Torvey, Mariners and Braves, Kurt Ford, Brian Downing, Doug Sisk, Mike Morgan, Doug DeCenzo, there's Nolan, checklist, Lloyd McClendon, Rob Deere. All right, that is the end of the upper right quarter. Okay. We're going to do this. Upper right. All right. Lower left. Lower left. So all we have left is lower right. Luis Aguayo, Bobby Bonilla, Bobby Witt, Ken Daly, Gary Varsho, Mike Davis, Mark Grace, Dodgers, and Twins, Robbie Thompson. You can count on Don Ossie in every quarter box. Angel Salazar, Jeff Hamilton. There's a Biggio. Chuck Finley, Gary Gaetti, Joey Meyer. So if we hit at least one of all the big guns, the Murphy reverse negative, which is super tough. That does not go there. That goes there. Biggio looks nice. Yeah, looks pretty solid. Willie Upshaw, Mike Stanley, Tommy Herr, Andres Galarraga, Paul Mirabella, Dwayne Bice, Ken Caminetti, Brewers and Dodgers, Marty Barrett, Lou Whitaker, Kirk McCaskill, Kurt Stillwell, Jim Gantner, Kirk Gibson, Eric Davis, Larry Anderson. Randy Bush, Gene Larkin, Randy Milligan, Mike Scioscia, Chuck Jackson, Jody Davis, Mike Jackson, Orioles and Astros, Dave Henderson, Goose Gossage. Gossage, I think, has been in every quarter also. Steve Lyons, Tom Browning, Eddie Murray, Randy Myers, Pete Smith, Rex Hudler. Ron Darling, Stan Javier, Jose Cesena, Gary Pettis. Weird, he's holding his own card. I forgot about that. It's an 89 upper deck card too, which is totally bizarre and confusing. Drew Hall, Jesse Barfield, Larry McWilliams. There it is. Dodgers and Rangers. Ozzie Guillen, Ed Whitson, Burt Blyleven, Jeff Montgomery, Jeff Reed, Greg Minton, Bob Stanley, Mike Schmidt. Greg Jeffries, that was a hot card back then too. Gerald Perry, Eric Davis, that one was too. That one has like some specs on it or something. Ken Phelps, Walt Weiss, Mookie Wilson, Chris Brown, Braves and Mariners, Don August, Mark Salas, Tim Tuffle, Nolan checklist, Carlos Quintana, Andy Van Slyke checklist, Jeff Russell, Joel Youngblood. Carlos Quintana was a good prospect at the time too, and didn't amount to much. Chris Carpenter. Jackie Gutierrez, Don Carmen. Greg Gagne, Mike Henneman. Brooke Jacoby, Kelly Paris. Angels and Dodgers. Drew Hall, Kurt Manwaring, Jeff Reed. It's a Wally Joyner checklist. There's Unit. Sorry, we had not had him yet. That one looks good too. So condition on all these that have come out have been, I mean, I'm not like super inspecting them, but they look good. Nicely centered box, which, as I said earlier, is a big question mark in this product. Mike Schmidt checklist. Daryl Miller, Barry Jones. Storm Davis. Kelly Gruber, Rick Leach, Steve Balboni. Mario Diaz, Larry McWilliams, Alejandro Pena. Yankees and a blank, funny enough. Bo Diaz, Dave Schmidt, Steve Joltz, Keith Hernandez, Barry Larkin, Ricky Horton, Brady Anderson. I feel like that was a pretty popular card at the time. Jim Rice. Will Clark. Mark Davidson, Sid Bream, Herman Jimenez, Dave Valley, Nolan. Always loved that card. Tony Fernandez. Stayed pretty popular too. Expos and Astros. Eric Shaw, Frank Williams, Bo Jackson, Jim Eppard, Tom Bernansky, Alfredo Griffin, Mark Gubiza, Louis Meadows. Marvell Wynn, Cecilio Guante, Mike Witt, Buddy Bell, Bruce Ruffin, Andres Thomas, Jack Howell. Orioles and Dodgers. Corey Snyder, Darren Dalton, Jay Buhner, Willie Frazier, Manny Lee, Dan Plesac, Don Carmen, and Tim Raines. All right, guys, that is the lower left quadrant. Lower left. All right. And then the last quarter here, this is lower right. Here we go. Good luck. All right. Jim Deshaies, Pascual Perez, Sean Hilligus, Curtis Wilkerson, Jim Clancy, Bud Black, Joe Hesketh, A's and Yankees, Kurt Young, Kevin McReynolds, Gary Thurman, Ed Olwine, Albert Hall, Mike Felder, Greg Walker, Mike Marshall. Bobby Meacham, Bill Long, Bob Brenly, Bud Black, Billy Ripken, and his brother right behind him, Frank DePino, Dodgers, Indians, Jeff Treadway, Rich Gedman, Timmy Jones, Dave Rucker, Tim Leary, Vince Coleman, Pat Tabler, Dave Righetti. Brent Smith, Kurt Manwaring, Otis Nixon, Ripken again, Craig Reynolds, John Farrell, Tim Laudner, Twins and Astros, Darrell Evans, Lenny Dykstra, Dave Winfield, Charlie Huff, Mitch Williams, Larry Sheets, Juan Berenguer, Joe Heskett. Joaquin Andujar, Chuck Krim, Tim Raines, John Farrell, Robin Yount, Terry Kennedy, Jamie Moyer, Dodgers and Indians, Glenn Hubbard, Jody Reed, Frank White, Bob Walk, Tracy Jones, George Bell, Terry Clark, Calvin Schiraldi, a bunch of former Texas guys in the 80s in this product. Swindell, Schiraldi, Ruffin, Moreland. Richard Dotson, Candy Maldonado, Joey Meyer, Terry Kennedy, Jimmy Jones, Tom Candiotti, Fred Tolliver. Rangers and Dodgers. Chuck Carey, Jose Canseco, that was a hot card. Jack Morris, there's Barry Bonds. Danny Darwin, Terry Steinbach, Rafael Palmeiro, Charlie Lee. That was a pack you were pretty happy with back in the day. Charlie Lee, Dennis Lamp, Larry Anderson, Tom Candiotti, Ron Oster, Roberto Alomar, Mitch Webster. They are Dodgers and Reds. Frank Viola, Rob Murphy, Dave Collins, Rob Deere, Gary Ward, Jack Armstrong, Paul Zavella, Les Straker. This quarter has been rough, though. Not even just from a rookie perspective, but even just from a star perspective. Calvin Schiraldi, Glenn Braggs, Rex Hudler, Roberto Alomar again. Terry Leach, Jeff Robinson, John Tudor. Astros Tigers, Jeff Parrott, Mike Henneman, Eric Plunk, Bob Browner. Brower. Where do you go? Now I want to know. Brower. Neil Heaton, Dickie Thon, Willie Randolph, Les Lancaster. Les Straker, Joe Price, Mike Schmidt, Jeff Robinson, Eck, Vance Law, John Cangelosi, Braves, and what is that? Oh, Padres. Terry Blocker, Walt Weiss, Leon Durham, Tom Foley, Jim Pankovitz, Ray Knight, Bruce Fields, Alan Anderson. And last pack, we haven't had a star rookie in this entire quarter. Again, John Shelby, Ernie Riles, John Paredes, Sherman Corbett, Luis Alicea, Curtis Wilkerson, Dave Righetti, Yankees and A's, Frank Tanana, he'll sign it through the mail for you. Dwight Evans, Jack Clark, Ellis Burks, Cecil Espy, Juan Augusto, Tommy John, and Richard Dotson. All right, guys, that's actually the whole break. So we basically hit one of each of the big guns. I don't even think we got a base Dale Murphy, much less the. All right, so in the lower left quadrant, to the Expos, one Randy Johnson, and to the Astros, one Craig Biggio. And in the upper right quadrant, one John Smoltz to the Braves, one Gary Sheffield to the Brewers, and it's pretty fun to pull out of a pack these days, I'm not going to lie. Pretty cool. All right, guys, thanks for joining in. That'll do it for this one. We'll get all this stuff packed up and shipped out. We've got 2021 Topps Chrome update, 2 jumbos that'll break tomorrow, but it's on the page right now if y'all want to jump in. Thanks, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.